Kara, what kind of news is coming out of the wasteland today?
2 feet high and rising.
Well, we've got more climate change news. Floods driven by record rainfall in Germany and Bavaria have killed at least 188 people at last count, prompting German Prime Minister Angela Merkel to make climate change a larger priority. Quote, "I say this as a German, the idea that you could possibly die from weather is completely alien," one climate scientist said.
I didn't know that floods in Europe were just sort of really kind of unheard of, or
Well, at least in Germany, I think, Southern Europe is a lot different than sort of mid-East Europe where Germany and Bavaria are. So
yeah, I guess if you think about it, they're in the band. That would be the northern parts of the United States that really don't deal with floods like the southern
right,
parts
exactly.
do. But yeah, in the news, they're basically talking about that this is going on all over Europe. So
Yeah, I think the big ones are, or maybe it's just reported on more in Germany because it's so weird there to have these kinds of events. But anyway, 200 people died.
it's
So
cool.
Yeah.
It always weirds me out when these sorts of things happen, right after we made up global warming. It's what kind of weird coincidence is that?
Well, you see, Chauncey, it's because of the geoengineering that we're doing in order to, strengthen public belief in global warming in order to, impose communism on good, God-fearing truck owners.
Holy smokes.
Yeah, see, it's very nefarious.
Is that what people really think, or did you just come up with this?
We've had guests on who think that. Well, a guest.
Yeah, all right. Yeah, I don't know. The whole idea of global warming really just bothers me. It bothers me for two reasons, and I know the people who don't believe out there are going to be like, whatever, this guy's talking this crap again. But for one, it's scientists. It's you go to the doctor to cure your cancer. If the doctor can't cure your cancer, that's when you start rolling around in ginkgo biloba and stuff. You don't do it the other way around. You go to the scientist first, and when the scientist doesn't have it figured out, that's when you start getting all freaky. But people just right out of the gates were just all, nope, science is lame.
Yeah.
But a scientist is no different than your doctor. It's just a different doctor. It's a doctor of something different.
I think the people we're talking about don't trust their doctors either, so that may not be the best comparison. These are the guys who won't get vaccines, so.
Okay. Well, then I'll just say one more time and then we can move on. The knowledge that this world has to offer, one person is not capable of having all of it.
Mm-hmm.
So therefore, as a society, through capitalism, let's just say totally through capitalism, through survival of the fittest and people creating inventions in order to fix future situations and get paid for it, people have to compartmentalize knowledge. That's the way that it works. That's the way every society works. I don't care if you're capitalism or communism, whatever the hell you are, that's the way it works. There's no other way for it to work. That's why the old shaman was the shaman. He had that knowledge and these other guys didn't. But this guy over here, that guy could hunt like a bandit. It's just the way society works. If you don't embrace it, society don't work.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I agree with you. Although I will say it's interesting you mentioned that historically, because on the subject of science, there was a period of time, let's say, I would say, 1600s, 1700s, 1800s, where it was basically possible if you're the idle rich, you're some nobleman, to understand basically everything there was to know about science.
Yeah.
And I think this whole Renaissance man idea, it emerged at the same idea of at the same time as, you know, the American Revolution and all this sort of Calvinist, just individualistic philosophy, I think we're still really informed by that. And, you know, people still really have this. I've seen people who are, you know, just the crankiest of cranks who describe themselves as Renaissance men. You know, it's like, I read all the studies, I do all my own work. And it's like, okay, that's why you sound like an idiot, you know, because you're not very good at it. So,
you know, but also,
but people still believe in this idea. They want to be Renaissance men, and it's just not possible anymore. You know, you got to specialize.
Well, let me throw this out there for the Renaissance man that is refusing to believe in any sort of science or doctors.
Right. Unless they came up with it.
Historically, two of the biggest Renaissance men, I bet you, would basically say, yeah, I know nowhere near all of it. And I agree with you saying. One man would have the ability to have a grasp on all the world sciences. But
yeah, well, who are you talking about?
Benjamin Franklin, Leonardo da Vinci, you know, even these guys, I think, would basically say, oh no, you know, I tied the key to the kite because I didn't know what the hell was going on.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, they were curious guys. And I only say, like, they probably understood, like, essentially the sum of the world's knowledge, because at that time, the sum of the world's knowledge was pretty pathetic, scientifically speaking.
There are germs and the sun is on fire.
Oh, they didn't know about germs. They didn't know about germs until God, when was it? I want to say, like, the middle of the 1800s.
Yeah, no, No, Franklin knew about germs. They were washing their hands at that point in operations, weren't they?
I don't think so, because weren't Victorian era hospitals like notoriously, like, you had and Civil War amputations, like, no one washed their hands. You know, you had a horrible chance of dying from infection, I think.
Okay, the sun's on fire.
The sun is on. Well,
that's the grasp of the earth sciences.
they would have understood that, although in the medieval era they would not have known that the sun was on fire. They would have said, you know, what is the sun? Well, it's a big blob of perfect it's a big, not luminiferous ether, but just heavenly material, and it's perfectly spherical, and it's made of just perfect divine energy. They wouldn't have said it's a big fireball.
And it's our God, and it demands a sacrifice.
Well, that part is true, but